Hello and welcome back to Paratech. I'm Marianne, and today we are going to do an experiment on energy. I love this, I love this, I love this, and I think you will too. This is a great experiment that you can do for yourself. It's very easy. It's something that I think your kids would enjoy if you want to do it with your kids so that they can learn how energy works. This is very, very powerful because you can see with this experiment visually how energy works within our bodies and in our environment. So let's get to it. Okay, so I cannot take credit for this completely. There is a gentleman I learned about years ago. His name is Dr. Masaru Emoto from Japan. He is an author as well, but he did these experiments, and you can, I'll shoot a link on here as well. He has a slew of amazing experiments that he's done, and I just really appreciate learning about this through him. Now, what you're going to need for this is just 2 little jars. I'm using canning jars just because it's easy for me, but if you want to use something else, you're welcome to use something else. This just works for me. Now, they're just empty, clean jars, and I have the lids as well. You don't necessarily need them, but because we're going to put water in them, I'm going to put them on there. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to fill them up, same water. Now, just to be sure, I made sure to rinse them out just in case there was any dust in there. It's not going to matter really either way, but because we're trying to use this as closest to a control as possible, I just did it anyway. Now, I'm going to put the lids on. Nice and snug, just so that the water doesn't get out. And of course I left a little headroom because of what we're going to do with them. Now, here's our 2 jars of water. What are we going to do with it? I'll tell you. Let's go. Now, the body is made up about 60% water, and we all have heard things like, you know, what you think, you become, words affect your body, your mind affects your body. We've heard people say, you know, hey, I'm not going to get sick, I'm not sick, I'm not sick, I'm not sick, and their body heals themselves, or they just prevent getting sick altogether. I have seen this firsthand. I've taught it to my kids, and really what happens in your mind and what you tell your body, it becomes. Now, going back to your body, physiologically we know that it's made up about 60% water. Now, it's not just, you know, in there somewhere. You have about, your heart has 73% water in itself. The lungs have 83% water, the skin has 64% water, and the muscles and kidneys are 79% water. Even your bones have 31% water, which is pretty incredible. It's everywhere. It's not just in the soft tissue, it's in your bones as well. So this really does affect, energy does really affect every aspect of your body. Now, in this experiment, what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 jar and we're going to subject it to some really harsh, nasty environments. We're going to do some really interesting things. We're going to yell at it. We're going to tell it it's ugly and stupid. We're going to talk down to it. We're going to play some really nasty, you know, hard music. And really, and I'm not going to shake it up. I'm not going to, you know, go crazy with it or anything like that. It's going to just sit in that environment. That's all it's going to do. It's just going to sit in that environment. Likewise, with this one, what we're going to do is do the opposite. We're going to praise it. We're going to tell it how beautiful it is, how wonderful it is, how fresh it is, how, you know, how clear it is. Play some nice, you know, some nice music, uplifting music, whether that's classical or whatever. It's just going to be a different genre completely. Now, I'm not knocking any kind of choices in music because I really like some music myself, hard stuff, but that's okay. The point is, we're going to treat these completely differently. One, we're going to talk nice to it, we're going to pray over it, we're going to, you know, do some very positive affirmations on it, and the other one, we're just going to tell it it's crap. And that's all we're going to do. just totally different environments. I'm not going to put them next to each other, obviously, even though this still does work and I've tried it, but I'm going to put them in different environments completely so that there's no cross-contamination with energy. Let's do this. Okay, now this first one we're going to fill with negative energy. We're going to fill it with hate and despair and doom. This is the hardest one because when you do it, you feel it in your body, okay? But just to show you this experiment, we're going to do that, and then of course we're going to clear the room after we're done with the experiment and the video because we don't want that lingering in here. So, here we go. I hate this one. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, here we go. You are ugly. Your jar is old. You're not even full. Oh, I'm not gonna shake it, that's right. You're disgusting. I don't know what you're doing here. You're a waste of space. You're a piece of shit. So on and so forth. I'm gonna keep going, but you don't have to hear this part. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's go do the positive one. We're gonna leave this one here. I'm gonna go in the other room. Alright, I have relocated with my positive jar. It was too hard to do that negative one in the first place, and second, Big Daddy was just laughing at me anyway for yelling at a jar of water. But, so here's our positive jar, and I'm gonna be talking all nice and sweet to it. We're gonna be telling it how beautiful it is. So here we do it. So here we do it. So here we go. You are so beautiful. Your water is clear and refreshing. You're nice and clean and shiny. Everything about you is just perfect and beautiful. Your jar is so clean. Your lid is so nice and perfect. It seals on tightly. I can tell you look really refreshing. I can tell that you are life-giving and beautiful and wonderful. You're pretty. You're beautiful. You have good energy. Stuff like that. We're just going to keep going with it. And then I'm going to play some music to it. We pray that it is clean and clear and raise it to a higher vibration to do the body utmost good. I love you. You are so beautiful. We're so grateful for you. You're so amazing. Alright, now I'm going to play some music that is of a certain hertz as well. It is for positivity, affirmation, self-love, and but you can't hear this because we don't want copyright strikes, so just know that's what I'm doing. Here we go. I'm going to pause this for just a second to let you know I'm holding this because as I'm listening to the music, I'm also feeling it through my body, and I'm envisioning my body in that positive state and transferring it into this jar of water. Now, you don't have to do it this way if you don't want to. This is just how I like to do it because I believe in energy transference. I mean, if you can do it through words and just by sitting here, it's going to get through there just by me holding the jar. I'm not actually touching the water anyway. So, it's just my way of doing it. You don't have to do it this way. I just like to. Alright, now I'm gonna just let this play in here. I've loved on it. I've hugged it. Told it how beautiful it is, how amazing it is, so on and so forth. I've prayed over it. I've given it all these positive, wonderful, amazing things, and I'm gonna let the music play for just a little bit longer and just kind of sit with it. And then we're going to go back to the negative one. I don't want to do that, but we're going to go and do the same thing, only on the flip side. See you in a minute. Alright, real quick. I have been doing some work on this one, and just to kind of get you an idea of how powerful this is, I took a tiny little break because this is actually difficult to do with all the negative stuff. And I picked a bad room to do this in because the hard drive that holds all our footage is no longer working. And it only happened after I started this. So we're in the same room with all the equipment and all of the energy fields from that. Now most of it isn't plugged in, but the hard drive is. So that was probably not a good idea on my part. I'm going to relocate this to a different area so that we don't screw up any more equipment. Alright, so I relocated to the bathroom. Sorry if there's an echo. I figured this is probably the safer place to do the negative water test, because there is definitely less equipment in here, nothing's plugged in, and there's already negative things that happen in here, if you catch my drift. So, alright, so let's do this one a little bit more. I do have a, it's not music, but I do have a tone that I'm going to use for the negative one. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want y'all going and looking for it. It's actually very hard to find anyway, but there is a specific tone that translates to negativity and anger, frustration, stress, what have you. Mostly there's an anger one that I'm going to use because that's the most intense. So I'm gonna do that here in just a second once I pull it up. Again, you probably won't hear it anyway, but you're not gonna hear this for right now. All right, this is a sub-audible tone, and again, I'm not gonna tell you the frequency of it, but even though you can't audibly hear it, I don't know if you can feel through the camera the effects that this tone is having, because I'm already feeling it on my body, and it's very uncomfortable. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. Even though I'm not hearing it, my body knows it's there, and it's affecting me. So I'm gonna do this for short bursts because I don't want to have effects of this one. It can do some really bad things to your body if it goes for too long. So the purpose is to show you this example, not to harm myself in the process. So I'm just going to do this in short bursts to imprint on the water for the experiment, but not on me. And I'm still going to go through my clearing stuff afterwards because I don't want it to stay resonating in my body. It's actually really hard to breathe. I feel very stifled, very suffocated. Okay, I gotta stop that. That's too much. That's too much. Stop. Stop. Alright, I'm gonna yell at it some more, tell it how ugly and stupid it is and how much I hate it, which is also very difficult for me to do because I hate feeling that way and saying those kinds of things, but for the experiment, I'm gonna do my very best to put that negative energy in there, and then I'm gonna do some clearing because I don't want to stay in that state. I really, really hate doing this, but I want to show you what this is like. I'm also not going to touch it and hold it like I did the other one. I may put my hand on the top for just a second, but I'm not going to hold it and caress it because that's a love. I don't want to touch it. If you don't touch things, you're not transferring the good parts. You know what I mean? Isolation and rejection, this is rejection. I'm not going to touch it because it's ugly and filthy and gross. It's disgusting. It's despicable. It's hate and all the gross things. Okay, so I'm going to do all this. You don't have to hear it. And then I'll be back right with you. Okay, now that that is imprinted on here, one thing that's very important, since we're going to put them in the same area-ish to complete this project, I'm going to mark this one. We're going to put N for negative, but I'm also going to write words on it. Hate, anger, despair, gloom, doom, depression, fear, oops, I ran out of room, fear, I think I ran out of room there. So, you get the idea, right? Now, I'm gonna do that same thing with the positive jar, so we can definitely tell the difference between the two. Okay, this one we're gonna put P for positive, and then we're gonna put love. We're gonna put, oops, joy, happiness, peace. I love that one, peace. We're going to put calm. We're going to put, I just put joy. Let's see, peace, calm, joy, happiness, love. Well, I'm going to spell it out. Positivity. Okay. Okay, now we're going to finish this out. Now I'm going to stick these both in the freezer. The funny thing is, the only difference, they've been sealed up the entire time, right? We filled them with tap water, both of them filled with tap water. The only difference is I yelled at one, told it all the negative things, and I caressed and loved the other one, told it how amazing it was, how grateful we were to have it, all those kinds of things, all the positive things on it. They're going to freeze completely differently. They're going to look completely different, and that's the only change we made. So you can visually see what the energy does to your body and to your environment, because these frequencies carry tones. They carry vibrations that affect your environment and your water. That's why people pray over their food, pray over their water, because it raises the vibration, and you'll be able to see with your eyes scientifically that it does work and why it works. All right, let's go. Okay, we love you, you're amazing, do good in there, we love you, and we'll be back soon. We hate you, you piece of shit, and we hope you burn in hell. Okay, I'm gonna try and separate those as much as possible. There you go. And we will be back to see the results in a few. Okay, so it's been a few hours. We are now going to get our jars out of the freezer and see how it ended up. You ready? Let's do it. Okay, move dog, get your nose out there. Okay, let's grab them and go upstairs. Okay, so now that we have our jars back up here, let's see what they are. So here's the hate one. Here's the love and positive one. Now it's hard to tell right now, so we're gonna open it up. Okay, this is hate. And as you can kind of see, it's actually rippled at the top. There's bumps on it. It almost looks like there's frozen bubbles. I don't know if you can tell, but there, now you can kind of see. And let me get the condensation down here a little bit. You can see how it's got cracks in it. Looks like it's been all jumbled up and all of that. Can you see that around there? Okay, let's see what the positive one is. That one looks like it's got a little bit of bubbling too, but not quite the same. And it definitely has a different pattern to it. It doesn't look like it has cracked all the way through. It looks like it's a lot more, like I can see right, I don't know if the camera's gonna catch this, but I can see right through it right here. It's crystal clear on the sides, and this one's completely clouded. It's just completely, oh, there's one little speck right there. But for the most part, this is just a garbled, chaotic mess of ice. And this one is not quite so garbled. Now, keep in mind this was a very short experiment, and the ones I've done in the past, let me make sure I got the right ones on the right one. The ones I've, oh, there's actually ice on the top of that one too, which is weird. The experiments that we've done in the past, you do it for a lot longer than just, I pretty much only spent about 10 minutes a piece on it. And I can still tell a difference. I hope you can tell a difference. I know it's really hard to tell with the glass and the condensation and the frost and stuff. Do it for yourself. Go ahead and see. Now, keep your water out. The first time I tried this, I think I left them out for 2 days, maybe? A day, maybe it was a full day, but 1 to 2 days. I had one in a part of the house that had a lot of frustrated teenagers in it. A lot of very intense emotions going through there. And then I had another one in another part of the house, tucked in a corner. They both were out of the way, so no one really knew what I was doing. I put another one in an environment where it was pretty much calmer, and it was just a sanctuary. It was just go and breathe room. And that I could tell a little bit more there because I had been in that environment a little bit longer. But try it for yourself. This shows you that what your energy is affected by. It's affected by its environment and the words. And again, your body is made up of 60% water, so obviously we're not freezing our bodies on the inside to see it, but it's still in there and it's still vibrationally changing our cellular structure and our DNA. So when you go into an environment, when people sense things, when you have that gut feeling, guess what? This is it. You're just able to see it now with your eyes. So go ahead and try this for yourself. I'm going to clear this off again, see if you can see them side by side a little bit better. It might not show up quite the same for you as I can see it in real life here, but this one definitely is clearer than this one. And this one's just got a whole bunch of cracks all over it. Just, they're different. And it's the same water from the same tap. Pretty cool. So keep that in mind when we curse other people, when we say, you emmer, effer, and damn it all to hell and things like that. It's changing the vibrations in not only our bodies, but out in our environment as well. So, love y'all. Thanks for being here with Paratech. Glad you got to see this experiment with us. And if you decide to try it, please let us know in the comments below how yours turned out. And if you did something different, I'd love to learn from you as well. Go ahead and check out the author Matsura Emoto and see what other experiments he had there as well. He did his on a microscopic level for some water, I believe, on there as well. And you can see pictures all over the place. So fascinating. And yeah, this is going to be a good foundation for some of the other videos that we are to come. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next video.